Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys. We definitely want you guys to stick around for, so please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, y'all know that I believe that Skip Bayless is one of the most obnoxious people in all of television, right? Without a doubt. I think he's one of the most obnoxious people that you have on there. For whatever reason, he just cannot seem to comport himself like a man of his age, like a person that has his particular age, or for whatever reason, Skip just does these things that I cannot believe. And one of the people that have been very critical about Skip Bayless in the media is Charles Barkley, right? Now, Charles Barkley's primary issue with Skip Bayless is that he picks and chooses. He clearly has favorites that he has in the media, like Michael Jordan, like Tom Brady, like Ben Simmons to a certain extent, like Joel Embiid and others. And these are the guys that he protects at all costs. Kevin Durant is another one. These are the guys that he comes to the defense at all costs. But whenever there's someone he doesn't like a LeBron or whoever, he always finds a reason to go at this person, like at every opportunity that he has. And that's the number one issue that Charles Barkley has had with Skip Bayless over the years. And recently, a few months ago, Charles Barkley went on the All the Smoke podcast to sit down with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, and they asked him this specific question to explain why he has an issue with Skip Bayless. So what we want to do is we want to play exactly what Charles Barkley had to say as a quick refresher on All the Smoke, and then we're going to come back and really get into the show here. Take a listen to what he had to say there.
Skip Bayless, obviously, recently with the unfortunate situation that happened with DeMar Hamlin on the Bills, he just had an untimely tweet, and I think he thought that he could say and then say something kind of, meaningful at the end, and we wouldn't see through. That was brought to attention, but then also the way he's just kind of been disrespecting his co-host, and you have to see Shannon kind of take a deep breath every once in a while. What is just your take on what he is doing and just how disrespectful I feel like he is to players and now his co-host as well?
Openly disrespectful. So I don't like the guy because television is a very powerful weapon, right? Very powerful. One of my mentors is Mike Wilbon. He's somebody I admire and really respect. And he did my last 3 books, and he's become like a big brother, father figure. But he said something very interesting to me, and I already knew it. He says, man, being on television is crazy. I said, what do you mean? He says, I've been at the Washington Post for 25 years, did it all. Nobody in the world knew who I was. I go on TV for a year. I can't go nowhere without people running up on me. Mm-hmm. And I said, man, TV is amazing. Like, it's such, like, everybody know who's on television, especially if you're successful and you're on television a lot. It is really a big, like, everybody watch television. And Skip, to me, these guys are real people. And I don't mind you criticizing guys. Right. It can never be personal. Right. That's it. And one thing I hate about the media, you can tell guys they like and dislike. You can't talk about people on television like that. You have to be fair and honest with people. And I think he is. You can tell who he likes. You can tell who he dislikes because he makes it personal.
So you heard what Charles Barkley had to say there. Now, as y'all know, I'm supporting the Clippers, and which means that I'm also supporting Russell Westbrook. But I was supporting Russell Westbrook before he even joined the Clippers because I didn't like the way the media seemed to target him while he was a Los Angeles Laker, and they tried to basically distill all the Lakers' problems down to Russell Westbrook. And it got to the point where whenever people discussed some of the challenges that the Lakers were facing, Russell Westbrook was always the number one point that they would always bring up. And I didn't like that because the Lakers had a lot of issues, and Russell Westbrook was part of the issue, but he wasn't the sole issue. So once the Lakers traded away Russell Westbrook to the Utah Jazz and the Clippers ultimately signed him, I thought, like many out there who follow the NBA, thought that, okay, then they're not going to be talking about this guy anymore, because the issue was Russell Westbrook was kind of messing up the Lakers' chances to get into the playoffs. and shows like Undisputed talk about the Lakers pretty much every single day. So I can understand how he can be a topic item on those shows. But now that Russell Westbrook is no longer a Laker, for some strange reason, Skip Bayless always finds a way to push topics about Russell Westbrook. And today, after the Clippers played pretty close game, a good defensive game against the Portland Trailblazers, where Russell Westbrook had a bunch of, I believe it is turnovers in that game, Skip Bayless took it upon himself to go out there on Undisputed and take another disgusting shot at Russell Westbrook. Take a listen to what Skip Bayless had to say here about Russell Westbrook today.
The point was LeBron and AD campaigned for the Lakers to go get Russell Westbrook. The point was Russ had never played with two superstars like LeBron and AD. And he dragged both of them down to the point that I'm pretty sure both of them wanted him gone. So it didn't work with the Lakers when you had optimum a situation. You put him in where he almost couldn't fail, and yet he did fail. He was returning to his hometown team to be the starting point guard with LeBron James and Anthony Davis welcoming him and saying, we just want Russ to be Russ. And he was so Russ that he destroyed the Lakers last year. He was the biggest reason they failed a year ago to even make the playoffs. So my point is, I'm still shell-shocked because I picked the Clippers to win it all this year. They have their best chance ever to win the Western Conference for a fact. And yet they went and got Russell Westbrook just because they're the team in the basement. They're the ugly stepchildren in the basement. And they want to show the big bad Lakers that we can figure it out in ways you couldn't figure it out. And Shannon, they can't and they won't. They're now 5-6 since they acquired Russell Westbrook. And he is, again, you say he's low-hanging fruit. No. The truth is he's just rotten fruit. He is what he isn't. And we knew it. We know it for 2 years. We saw it. He is, right now, he's the second worst three-point shooter in the league to Banchero. And I don't know, Banchero keeps jacking up threes and he barely stays just a notch below Russ. But Russ is at 29.3% from three. Russ is now the fourth worst free throw shooter in the entire league. Russ is still leading the league, as he was with the Lakers, in turnovers per 36 minutes. He's not playing quite as many minutes as he did a year ago, but he still leads in turnovers per 36 minutes. The point is, that's a lethal combination. You're a horrible three-point shooter, you're a horrible free throw shooter, and you're a turnover machine. Okay, well, you're a point guard, for heaven's sakes. And you're not a very good defender. It's not like you're some lockdown perimeter defender, who destroys the opponent's point guard. And yet Ty Lue, stubborn to a fault, keeps saying, watch this, I'll figure it out. So what happened? This is going back 2 days. They played a day game, and they're notoriously bad out here in LA in day games. But still, you don't have Kawhi because they're going to save him for Portland in the back-to-back last night at Portland. And what happens? You play Russ 36 minutes. You play him all 12 minutes of the fourth quarter, and he's a disaster in the fourth quarter.
So you heard what Skip Bayless had to say. Now, in that game against the Portland Trailblazers, Westbrook finished that game with 9 points, 4 turnovers, 10 assists, 12 rebounds as a point guard. He shot 100% from the free throw line, but he was 3 of 12 from the field, shooting 25%. Now, here's why I'm annoyed at Skip Bayless. Last week, Wednesday, the Clippers played against the Golden State Warriors, and it was a seeding game, right? So if either team had lost that game, it would determine them either going up or down in the standings. And it was a very, very, very interesting game and a very important game for the Clippers that night. In that game, Russell Westbrook had 15 points, 0 turnovers, 2 steals, 7 assists, 9 rebounds, with 4 of them being offensive rebounds, shot 50% from the free throw line, going 1 of 2, shot 40% from the 3-point line, going 2 of 5, and shot 37.5% from the field. And after that game, I was quite surprised that I didn't hear Skip Bayless on Twitter tweeting about Russell Westbrook, because he does that literally every single night the Clippers play a game, especially in games that they lose. And we actually went on our channel where we put up a post, and I said, Skip was really quiet on Twitter about Russ. What about the tweets? That's what I posted on the channel. And some of our viewers left a comment basically saying, I was wondering the same thing. You see, here's the reason why Skip didn't post about Russell Westbrook on Twitter. The reason is because he didn't have anything to feed into his personal vendetta and narrative against Russell Westbrook, which is simply this. He wants the narrative about Russell Westbrook to be that he's some type of incompetent turnover machine. And in that particular outing, he had 0 turnovers. So for him to be tweeting about Russell Westbrook, it didn't really fit his narrative. It did not fit his narrative. In a game when the guy has 0 turnovers, that really didn't serve Skip Bayless. It didn't serve him. So in that particular moment, he said nothing about him. So what he did was he waited. He was quietly waiting for Russell Westbrook to have a game where he had 4 turnovers, or 2 or 3 or more turnovers, because they produced some shows on Undisputed where Russell Westbrook has had 3 turnovers in a game, and he's highlighted those 3 turnovers. Like any turnover he makes, all of a sudden, it becomes an issue, and therefore he has to cover it. So in that particular case, last night when Russell Westbrook had 4 turnovers, he took it upon himself to say, now I'm going to go out there and criticize the guy. And this is the reason why I think Skip Bayless is a clown. This is why I think he's a clown. Because on the night when he had 0 turnovers, you didn't say anything. Why? Why didn't you say, man, Russell Westbrook played a pretty clean game? He played a pretty clean game. Kudos to him. But he waited for the moment for him to fail or to have some blunders. And then he went out there and said that. Here's the fact of the matter. And this is what Skip and people that feel the way Skip, feel the same way Skip feel. This is what you guys need to understand. Although Russell Westbrook had 4 turnovers in that game, the Clippers as a team had 9. That's incredible. They only had 9 turnovers for the game. So his turnovers didn't really hurt the team in the way Skip Bayless wanted to paint it, number one. Number two, the fact of the matter is, and I've watched a good amount of the games that Russell Westbrook has played with the Clippers, Russell Westbrook has his drawbacks. He can be careless with the ball, 100%. 100%. But Russell Westbrook gives the Clippers more positives than he does negatives. The other thing is Russell Westbrook is actually working better on the Clippers than he did on the Lakers. That's number two. Number three, a lot of the issues that were plaguing the Clippers, based on what I was understanding, listening to people in media, it seemed like all of it had to do with Russell Westbrook. But Westbrook left the team and the team started struggling anyway. So you couldn't blame him anymore. And I think that's the issue that these people are having. They lost their punching bag. So they got to find a way to keep it up. If you're going to sit there and criticize the Clippers for a lot of these games that they're losing and put it all on Russell Westbrook, it means you're a clown. You don't watch the games. You don't know what the hell is going on. The fact of the matter, the reason the Clippers are losing a lot of those games is because, number one, they were not executing down the stretch. And number two, they were playing no defense. And Kawhi Leonard was missing some of those games. The last game that they lost to the Orlando Magic, he missed that game. He plays, I think they win that game. I really do. So to me, man, I think Charles Barkley is 100% correct about Skip Bayless. 100% correct. He's a clown. He's a clown. These are my thoughts and opinions. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section. We'll catch you guys on the next one.